Hey Pisces, happy birthday. How are you? It's me, Lauren B. This is the Untitled Tarot. As always, Pisces, these readings are timeless. So even if you come across this and it's not your birthday month anymore, there could still be a message in it for you. For those of you that don't know, I do monthly readings for all of the zodiac signs on my Patreon, but whoever's birthday month it is, I like to gift it to you over here on YouTube because it feels very important and it feels very special. Pisces. We're going to use the Rider-Waite for you today. It feels like your birthday season holds a little extra weight for you this year. Birthdays are a time when you want to be really excited, right? It's like, it's my birthday, yeah. But at the same time, birthdays kind of have the same energy, almost like New Year's Eve does. Right? It's that time when we kind of take stock of where we're at in comparison to our last birthday. And I feel as though for a lot of you, you might be dealing with some disappointment or some frustration because it feels as though you've implemented a lot more consistency in your life, in your work, in your schedule, like all across the board for you, because the only reason why a Pisces can't accomplish what a Pisces dreams up in its very fantastical world is because sometimes Pisces lacks a little bit of that practical, consistent approach that the other signs have. And it feels like you really tried to implement that. And maybe you haven't seen all of the fruits of that so far for yourself. And so there is this sense of almost feeling very tempted to kind of like go back to the old way you used to do things, or old habits or old mindsets or behaviors, because it doesn't necessarily feel like your consistency is like paying off in a big way. Maybe in small ways, but not necessarily in the big way that you would really like it to. And there is this sense, like I said, of almost of disappointment, of not being where you want to be by this age, whatever age you're celebrating this year, Pisces, that you thought you were going to be. And really trying to reconcile that and like really harness a level of self-discipline. Some of you are having your Saturn returns, one of the waves of your Saturn returns, depending on how old you are. And as we know, Saturn is the planet of discipline. So it's really trying to continue to follow through and not allow yourself to become disheartened just because in the natural, you maybe aren't where you want to be, where you thought you were going to be by this year's birthday, but instead really turning that energy inside and look at how far you've come in your soul, in your spirit, in your emotional maturity, all of these other things, right? Because I'm almost seeing like a hold please, like uploading, like software update, like there's a lot happening behind the veil for you. So it really is an energy of not allowing yourself to become so discouraged, like just yet. Not just yet, Pisces. So I had a couple cards fly out for you, but I want to pray first, as we always do. Father God, thank you for bringing me and Pisces in today for this birthday reading. I ask that you give me wisdom, clarity, and discernment to deliver these messages accurately for Pisces' highest of love, light, alignment, and assignment. We praise you, we love you, we thank you always to the utmost high. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen, Pisces. Oh, you got cards flying out all over the place. And I almost feel like I have like the hiccups or like indigestion or something. There's something about this birthday season that feels like it's hard for you to digest, right? It really does feel like qualifiers of adulthood or like qualifiers of success, or again, things you thought that you would have accomplished or experienced by now, and perhaps you haven't, and it's really kind of taking a little bit of the sparkle and like a little bit out of the joy out of your birthday season. So I want to keep looking into this energy for you. So you have the Magician in reverse, which is pretty much confirming what I said to begin with, is you're not feeling super magical. And it's almost the idea of some of you are resenting in some aspects some of the discipline that you've had to enable in your life because it doesn't seem to be bearing you the fruits of that consistency and that discipline, if that makes any sense. It's that energy of, what am I doing all of this for? I'm not doing the things that I used to be doing. I'm not having as much fun as I used to be having because I'm trying to really like be committed to seeing this through, this new phase of my life, and it's not here. So like, what's it for? What's the point of it all? Right? But sitting in that vibration also isn't going to help you manifest anything, because when we say, I can't, what's the point? Kind of, that's exactly what we receive back. Oh, you can't. There is no point. Whereas it's like there really is a need to kind of change that dialogue a little bit, but it is difficult. Now, you also have the Three of Wands in reverse. Now, the Three of Wands upright talks about making the preparations to like get on with it, get on your mission, right? The Two of Wands is when you choose the path. You gather your energy and you choose that path. And the Three is when you make your preparations and you set forth, which is why the Four of Wands is when you get someplace and you get to set your luggage down. You start setting up shop, plant those roots, build that foundation in the new place, right? So again, this is you also feeling as though maybe you've hit some roadblocks or some obstacles in even making the preparations to get where you want to go, right? It's almost like, I'm ready, I'm waiting, but like the money's not here for me to buy the products that I need. I don't have the time, right, in my schedule to kind of turn my side hustle into a business, right? I've healed myself, I'm ready for love, but at the same time, I don't see any like viable options around me to even begin the new process of exploring love, sex, and relationships. It's that kind of energy. It's like, I did my homework and I showed up for the test, but like no one's here. And then you have the Eight of Cups after that, right? Which is technically falling in your third house of communication. And this is kind of you, it feels like almost ready to like throw in the towel on the whole thing. Again, it's almost like, what's the point of this? It's not working. Like, maybe I heard wrong. Like, I'm just gonna go start a journey. I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna throw in the towel, right? And it feels like this is what you're communicating externally to God, to the universe, right? Maybe to other people as well. Like, it's just not working and like, I gotta go. This is getting ridiculous. But the thing is that, again, Piscean energy, people like to call Pisces wishy-washy, and it's a little bit of a misnomer. It's not that Pisces are wishy-washy, but it's that Pisces are very easily discouraged because you live in a fantasy world, and I don't mean that offensively. I am a Pisces, so I understand this energy. You dream so big and so rich and so vibrantly, right? And you get so excited. Pisces get really excited. They fall in love with love. They fall in love with a dream. They fall in love with an idea, right? Almost to the point of idolization. So when things don't come in as quickly, or there's extra obstacles and challenges and all of these things, Pisces, because you float so high up here, right, on the depths, all things in balance, you sink real low to the bottom of the sea, and then you become very discouraged. And then because of that discouragement, sometimes you can fall into a little bit of a depression, and then you kind of give up. So it's not necessarily that you're wishy-washy, it's that you can become very disappointed when things aren't turning out the way that you kind of fantasize that they would, and then you give up. And again, this is very common in younger Pisces. It's very likely that as a Pisces, as you get older, other aspects of your chart get activated, and through your life experience, you gain wisdom, discernment, clarity, things like that, which require you to kind of pull in more of that consistency, oftentimes around one of your Saturn returns. Now, in your fourth house, you have the Star in reverse, right? So again, this is you. The Star represents things that we wish for, we pray for, we hope for. It's also Aquarian energy, which can sometimes be like a little bit like emotionally detached, but that's not a normal place for a Pisces to be. You're either completely attached to something or someone, or you're just floating away. You don't even care. There's that, it's hard for you to kind of find that middle ground between wishful thinking and releasing expectation. If you're wishing for it, you're expecting for it. And there's a light and a shadow side to that. But the Star also represents North Node energy, which is your fated and destined path. So again, kind of just confirming, this is you saying, you know what, obviously this isn't my fated and my destined path. Obviously I'm not going to get what I wish for. I'm not going to get what I prayed for. So like, I should just give up now and go find something else to do, right? And I think that a lot of this is the pressure. And they're saying like, don't do that. Like, you never know when your breakthrough is going to happen. It could happen today, the day you watch this video, right? It could happen a week from now. It could happen at the beginning of Aries season, which is likely, right? Because Aries is the emperor. It's the beginning. It's the first sign, right? It's the breath of new life. You are at the end of the zodiac. So I would really think about considering the fact that you are very close to the finish line, and not really to give up just yet, right? Even the moon looks sad. Do you see the little moon? He looks sad, right? And the moon is Cancerian energy, and this is in your Cancerian house, which is your house of home, right? So again, things in your immediate environment, your home space. Maybe you thought you were going to move by now, or you thought you were going to have a house by now, or you thought you were going to be married and have kids or have your business really successful, right? But it's also likely that if you're on this spiritual journey and you're watching tarot videos, that you likely have taken some really interesting twists and turns through dark nights of the soul, through awakenings, through wilderness seasons, right? All of these different things, trying to tear down the walls of Jericho. And so it's likely that the timeline that you had originally planned for yourself, however long ago, was based off of a different structure when you were still asleep and in the matrix. Now that you're kind of spiritually awoken and you're on this walk, that the timelines have shifted, right? And often, this is important to note as well because it's coming in, that sometimes when we start this walk and things feel really, really delayed, what we're actually doing is concentrating that energy, that all of the time, energy, love, commitment, dedication, discipline, everything that you're putting in this season over here, and you're not seeing any like fruits from that labor, it doesn't mean it's for nothing. There's never anything that's for nothing. Energy, it's physics, right? Energy doesn't die, it just converts to something else. It converts to the next timeline. So as you move to the next timeline, as you move to the next season, you know, you thought I would have a house, and then maybe a year and a half later, I'd meet someone, and then maybe a couple years after that, then I'd have kids, and then, you know, then my business would take off. You'll find all of it happening within a year. You'll find that person, you'll get engaged, married, your business will take off, you'll get that, everything will happen like all at once, right? Like a flash in a pan, and you'll be like, holy shit, my whole life just changed in like a year and a half. That's a lot of times how it happens. So they really want me to remind you of that. It seems very important to remind you of that. Look at this, the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. He moves like molasses. He takes so long to get anywhere that you think he's never, ever gonna show up, right? It's like waiting for the subway. But when he gets there, he has something to offer. He's not impulsive. He moves intentionally. He doesn't move purely out of emotion, right? And so he doesn't break down halfway through the journey. He doesn't have to turn around like the Knight of Wands because he forgot something. There's no impulse. It's all intention with him. So when the Knight of Pentacles gets anywhere, even if it takes a long time, longer than we would like, he's got a real seed to plant. He's got a real seed to plant. Now, you have the High Priestess and you have the Eight of Wands in reverse. Now, you are the High Priestess. So the fact that it's coming out in reverse means that you're not really feeling like yourself. Again, because there is a level of consistency and discipline and all of these like really practical, tangible things that you've been doing that don't feel like you, right? That's the thing. It doesn't feel like you. But I also think that you're comparing it to a you that existed before you kind of woke up, before you really expanded into the spiritual journey, before all of that. And so you can't compare you in the present or even who you would like to be in the future to who you were and the things you did and the ways you felt and the ways you coped from you in the past. Because it's not the same. It's apples and oranges now. It's totally different. And the Eight of Wands is a card of communication, which, again, feeling as though maybe you aren't receiving messages to your intuition or you're misinterpreting them. Maybe it was retrograde. Like you're misinterpreting your guidance, right? But again, the Eight of Wands in reverse is coming out directly underneath distracted me. Directly underneath the Eight of Cups, right? Which is the journey, which is almost as though there are messages, like I said, coming in, like, Pisces, don't do that. Like, Pisces, don't get upset and throw in the towel, like, right before, like, we're about to put you in, coach. Like, don't do that. But it's almost like you aren't tapping into your intuition in some aspects. Maybe you could be disappointed. Maybe feeling as though your intuition led you down a few funky roads, with people, places, and things, and now you have this big thing that like there's a lot more riding on it than like just a date or just a person or just something to do, right? And it's almost like second guessing your intuition. There's a level of needing to build more trust with your higher self and like with your spirits and your guides and all of that stuff, because this Eight of Wands in reverse, it does fall in your 6th house, which is of health. And so again, you might be looking really externally to your situations and then getting disappointed, and then that's having a negative effect on your health, when really they're trying to communicate to you like you need to pour into yourself. By pouring into yourself, taking care of yourself, your body, your mind, your soul, making sure that you're staying at like a high vibration. If something's coming in that's making you feel kind of funky, telling you telling it to like get out of here. I rebuke you, devil. Get the fuck out of my house. Get out of here. Get out of my mind. Not all of your thoughts are your thoughts. You don't have to adopt, own, and marry every energy that comes in. That's part of that emotional detachment. Like, let it come in. All right, I acknowledge you. No, I don't really think I want to keep that. Okay, let it fly back out, because there's something about your physical health too. You might, because you're trying to be so consistent and you're trying to be so disciplined, you might have been getting these messages that like you need to fall back, or like you need to relax, you need to rest a little bit more, recharge your batteries. But then there's this aspect of your ego or your shadow that's kind of saying, no, I can't rest. Like, I have to get this done. Like, if I don't get all of this stuff done, then my breakthrough's not going to come in. My person's not going to come in. I have to heal. I have to do, almost like putting like your spiritual growth, putting your healing on like the to-do list, putting that on a time schedule. I have to be healed by March 15th, otherwise my person's not going to come in, right? And that's not how it works at all. And part of the reason you might be experiencing more resistance, right? That it might be like an intentional delay to get you to basically have nothing else to do other than take care of yourself. Because when you take care of yourself, physically, mentally, you allow yourself rest. Energetically, what you're putting out there is saying, I'm worthy, I'm deserving, I'm enough. Right? I am a child of the utmost high, and I am enough. I'm entitled to the riches and glory from the storehouse in heaven, because that's what God said so. He said that. So that means I don't have to struggle. I don't have to toil. I can do my work, but I don't have to kill myself while I'm doing it. Right? There is something like really, there's a lot in there. It's very like loaded for you. It's very loaded for you. Again, Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. He really wants to come out. He'll sneak out at the right time. Yeah, so if you have the Four of Wands in reverse in your 7th house of relationships. So again, not feeling as though you're having the foundation. You're not having that union energy. You're not feeling the soul tribe. And it's directly underneath the Star and the Magician in reverse. So again, this isn't what I wanted. Like, I thought I'd be so much more established by now. Why can't I manifest this? Why am I not moving closer towards my fated and destined path? I feel like I'm just moving farther away from it. I committed to this spiritual journey. I'm being disciplined. I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. And it feels like I'm farther away from my goals and my dreams than ever. Right? But the fact that the High Priestess, you are the High Priestess, is in reverse, is saying that the reason you don't feel like yourself is not because your intuition is steering you the wrong way. As a matter of fact, it's because you're not feeling empowered in it. There's an element of feeling, again, it's about worthiness for you, and it's about feeling empowered, and it's about the fact that it's your birthday season, and instead of almost looking at yourself and going, you know what, I made it X amount of years. So many people don't get to make it X amount of years. Look what I was able to do for myself in the last year. Look what I was able to do for myself in the last 2 years. I didn't just change my life, I changed myself. I'm doing things that I never thought I was going to do. I've changed so many bad habits. I've raised myself on a different frequency. I'm so much more connected to my creator. I'm talking to spirits and angels, and I can see people's freaking feelings, and I can hear their thoughts, and I can heal people, and I see the world with so much more color, so much more vividly than I did 3 years ago, 10 years ago, when I was still asleep in the Matrix. I have more purpose now in my life, even in the small things. Everything has symbolism now, right? It's like looking at that is like, that's a sense of empowerment, because not everybody can do that. There are a lot of people that get the little nudge from spirit, right? Wake up, and they're like, head covers over the head. They're like, no way, dude, I'm not doing it, because the shock and awe of realizing that this is like the red wire or the blue kind of existence is just way too much for me. So I'm just gonna put the covers over my head. I'm gonna go back on Instagram, and I'm just gonna go back to like doing shot skis. I don't even give a shit, right? But you didn't do that. You didn't do that, Pisces. You answered the call. And it was terrifying. And you had to confirm to yourself that ever since you were little and you thought that you were just weird and crazy, that you weren't weird and that you weren't crazy, that you had it right all along. But now you got to walk this shit out, and it's hard. And it's difficult. And you might not be established in the ways externally in your life that you thought you were going to, but you've created a level of establishment in yourself. And that is something that you need to feel empowered about. That is going to be the thing that's going to make you feel more like yourself. Not because you've implemented discipline and you're not just kind of wilding out like you used to once upon a time ago. Good for you. You're not a slave to your impulses and your basic primal instincts, right? That's amazing. You can sit in your higher shelf. Your higher self is not on a high shelf anymore. You're embodying it. And that's so beautiful. And again, they want me to bring it back into focus for you that sometimes when you're on this walk, you know, there's so much refinement, there's so much purifying, there's so much growing and learning and all of these things that everything else, right, kind of feels like it's really, really delayed and you're falling behind. But in reality, all that time energy that you put into one season, it just gets transported into the next season like a bomb of blessings, right? B-O-B, baby. And then next thing you know, a year and a half from now, everything you ever wanted, it's already there. Your business is established, and now you have this person, and now you're working on a family, and now you have a solid place to live that, you know, you have roots in. And sometimes it happens like that. It all comes in at once. It rains down blessings after very dry seasons. And so again, with this Eight of Cups, they're trying to tell you, don't let your ego, don't let your shadow, don't let that devil energy play you out of your position right before your breakthrough comes in. The Fool in reverse. See, it's a note like a lack of faith. It's a note to lack of faith because underneath the High Priestess and the Three of Wands in reverse as well, it's almost saying, Pisces, you've done so many of the preparations. What you need to do now is like fall back, relax, trust, have faith. God brought you to it. He's going to bring you through it. Do you know why? Because everything's for God's glory. So if you, let's just put it in perspective. So if you, Pisces, took a word from God, took a word from the universe, and you've been walking in this path, and he told you that he was going to do something for you, and he told you that this was going to happen for you, right? And you're like, I took a leap of faith. I'm like Bon Jovi. I'm just living on a prayer right now because God told me to do this, and God said he was going to do this for me, and then he doesn't do it. Do you know what would happen? The universe would crack open like Ragnarok, and everything would disappear. It's all for his glory. He wants people to know that he is a good God. And so if you get put to shame on a path that he puts you on, he gets put to shame. And then God looks foolish, and God never looks foolish. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you? If he'll bring you to it, it's because he's going to bring you through it. So that way everyone's going to get to look at you and be like, wow, we really thought Pisces was like down for the count. How the hell did that make that happen? And they're like, it's got to be a move from God because I don't know how the hell Pisces did that, right? How did Pisces' whole life change in a year and a half? They might not realize the year and a half before that, or the 3 years, or the 5 years, or the 10 years before that you were struggling and being stripped and being purified and refined in a pressure cooker of spiritual expansion, right? But now you are a diamond and everyone's going to see you sparkle. So don't hop out of it right before it happens for you. Remember why you started this to begin with. You have to remember that. I keep saying like, remember, you remember. The World. With the Three of Swords. The World represents completion. And this is card 21. So, timely message. The World also represents, you know, beginnings hide themselves in endings. So, with completions, it also indicates new seasons, new cycles, moving forward, right? And there's almost this idea of perhaps every time you've had to start over in the past, it's been extraordinarily painful for you. So there also is this idea of energetically blocking yourself or delaying yourself completely unintentionally, kind of assuming that the start of your new season is going to be disappointing. You're just going to be led into a new season of disappointment, a new season of heartbreak, right? And again, it's projecting the situations, the end results that happened to you in the past onto things that are in the future. Again, it denotes a lack of faith on your part. And it's not because you necessarily don't have faith. It's because it's your shadow side. It's your ego. Your ego isn't always just like puffed up and like, look at me. Your shadow is also something that tries to make you small, to try and protect you, hide you, right? But when you walk with God, you don't have to have your ego and your shadow come out and try and protect you. God does that. He is your protection. He is your provision. That's why when you become awake and ascended, you don't gotta throw hands. You just call on Archangel Michael. He'll throw hands for you. He'd be happy to do it. Look at all this blue right here, right? And so there's something about you unintentionally projecting more heartbreak and disappointment, another season of sadness, as opposed to like a season of a win. And it is because you're tired. It's been a really long journey for you. And it's just like, I'm fine. No, it's cool. I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah, but also no, you're fine, but you're tired. And that's part of the reason why they're trying to communicate to you that now is really a time of rest. And I'm going to be totally transparent with you. This is the second monthly reading that I'm doing for you, Pisces. I did one for you, I don't know, a week and a half ago. And the energy was so aggressive. It was angry. It was like really, you were not okay. You were not okay. And the whole basic theme and advice of that whole reading was rest while you wait. That come Aries season, it was going to be a whole different fucking ball game for you. But March as a whole was about you resting, restoring. It doesn't mean don't do anything. It doesn't mean like let everything fall to the wayside, but you kind of sitting in more of a place of surrender and allowing whatever healing needs to come in for you, allowing yourself to make peace with whatever you need to make peace with, and rest while you wait. Because while we wait on God to make moves for us, what we're really doing is that Three of Wands upright, which is preparing. And sometimes the best way you can prepare is to recharge your batteries. It's been a long journey. You're not an eel, you're a fish. Things don't just roll off of you. Everything is an emotional experience for a Pisces, even little things. Picking out tangerines versus, Florida oranges is an emotional process for a Pisces. And again, I am a Pisces, so I understand this energy. I've lived with it for 30 years, Pisces. And so there is a sense of being drained that even if the new season, the breakthrough, the blessing came in right this second, you would already be so burnt out and exhausted that you wouldn't be able to enjoy it. And they want you to enjoy it. They don't want to give you blessings when you're in a moment of struggling or when you're striving. That's a miracle. That's different. Miracles are different than blessings. When you're in a moment of desperation, because then you will hold on to that blessing and you will cling to it and you will suffocate it, right? Because you will be so afraid from an untrained, unintegrated ego and shadow side that no other blessings will come for you. So you will idolize this one single blessing like your Gollum in the Lord of the Rings. And that's not what they want you to do. They want you to have the energy. They want you to have the excitement. They want you to have the faith and the freedom that as these things come in, you're going to be able to enjoy them and love them, but also not constrict them and suck all the air out of them, and know that it's not, you're going to go from glory to glory. It's not just one blessing and that's it. That's your blessing quota for your life. No, glory to glory. And there's a sense of ease and there's a sense of peace and there's a sense of flow that comes with kind of, coasting from glory to glory. And that comes from a place of rest. Sometimes we best prepare for our breakthrough by resting. It's the fall back. Fall back and then lean into God. Allow him to comfort you. So that way you're not walking into your new seasons afraid of being heartbroken, afraid of being disappointed, because that's what happened for you in the past, right? And if I take this, and the world comes out in that 9th house of spirituality and higher learning, it's you've learn so many of these lessons spiritually and through your experiences. And they're bringing back in the oyster spirit animal totem video that I had done not too long ago. And it's about changing the narrative that, yes, so many of your experiences, everything, this is in your 10th house of ambitions, relating to your ambitions, your desires, professionally, spiritually, in terms of your gifts, in love, in all of these things, they've always come with a painful price to pay. But it's not supposed to be like that moving forward. But the narrative, the perspective of that in your head is still floating around, even if it's just in the deep, deep recesses and you're not realizing it. And they really want to purge that. They really want to evolve that for you and move you more into, instead of this electric eel sort of energy, right? That all revelation, all light enlightenment, it comes with the shock, right? That instead it's more like the oyster spirit, when the oyster, the pearls of wisdom, right? And a pearl is something that's special. It's usually given as a gift. Someone gives a pearl to someone as a blessing unto them, right? that when that pearl is extracted from the oyster, there's no harm that comes to the oyster. It's not harmed. And this is changing the narrative that everything related to your goals, your desires, your wish and heart fulfillment comes with pain and heartache and suffering, and instead realizing that you can now experience things and continue to learn and continue to grow and love again and build yourself and your life and your foundation up in ways that are not traumatic, that are not painful and heartbreaking, that you don't have to be torn down in order to be built up. You've had that season, but we have to shift the frequency, and that is going to come out of a place by being first blessed with rest. That might be what I call this for you. Blessed with rest. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for you. Ten of Swords in reverse. Blessed with rest. There's the Ten of Swords is you feeling stabbed in the back. It's betrayal. It's things sneaking up behind you that you didn't know about or you weren't prepared for, and then putting you out for the count, right? And this is coming out of that energy. And some of this might have to do with times where you self-sabotaged yourself, where you kind of cut off your own nose just to spite your face. Times when you weren't so disciplined and in control of your basic instincts and desires and impulses, right? And this could have a lot to do with in relation to your angels and your guides. When they send us off on these divine detours, right, to learn lessons and growth, we can become a little hardened to that as well. Again, why did I have to learn that lesson that way? Why did I have to get my heart broken? You couldn't have just sent me a TED Talk, a little Brene Brown, like I couldn't have learned it that way? No, because as a Pisces, you learn things best the hard way. And I know that. Again, I am a Pisces. And so there is something about realizing why you had to experience things the way you experienced them in the old cycle, but in the new cycle, being able to release that, make peace with the past, not just the people in the past, but also there's still like this farewell that's coming in that you have to give to the old Pisces. They're almost showing me like a Viking funeral. There's something about really having to make peace and say goodbye. Goodbye to the old Pisces, because you on some level are still seeing yourself as that person. And that person is gone. It's not who is living in you now, and it's most certainly not who's moving in to the promised lands. But there's still some kind of attachment that you have to the old Pisces that needs to be kind of severed. It needs to be acknowledged. It needs to be mourned. And that's part of this resting birthday season for you as well, that you are worthy of rest. You are worthy of evolving. There is this energy of like, no matter what I do, no matter how much I grow, no matter how much I say I'm sorry or how much I accomplish, like I'm still just the Pisces from the past. I'm still the person that got betrayed. I'm still the person that made all of those mistakes. People are never going to look at me different. And you know what? Maybe they won't. But how do you look at yourself now? It's about you seeing a different person when you look in the mirror. Not seeing the past Pisces in the mirror, but seeing you now. And even better, being able to see in the mirror who you're growing and who you're becoming into. Having a greater sense of appreciation for what these things taught you. What old you taught you now. And what you now is going to teach future you. Queen of Wands. The most confident court card in the whole deck. Also one of the most intuitive, other than the Queen of Cups. Ace of Cups on the split. So Pisces. Again, a lot of this has to do with your confidence. The Queen of Wands, of all the queens, the Queen of Wands is my personal favorite because she is strong and she is spicy, but she is warm. and she is nurturing, and she is intuitive, and she is confident. She knows her worth, and she knows her value. She's cloaked in yellow. It's the color of your solar plex chakra. It's the essence of life. It's falling in love with yourself. And in this 12th house, your house, it's the house of secrets, the occult, things that are hidden and unknown to you. Is that during this period of rest, the task is not for you to throw in the towel and give up. It is to believe in yourself harder, bigger, better, faster, stronger, like a Daft Punk song than you have ever before. It is not the time to turn in the towel, Pisces. It is the time to double down on yourself, on the commitments, to ride this shit till the wheels fall off. And you know what this is? A perfect pair. Followed up by the Emperor. Male or female, we all harness these energies. Yes? Yes. My viewers are primarily women, though. So as you are upgrading, like I was saying, into the full empowered and embodiment that the High Priestess is supposed to harness, you attract exactly what it is that you're looking for. Because again, processing, uploading, updates in progress, it's all been happening for you. You just had to believe it. That comes from faith. To believe in yourself. And one part of this resting is going to unify your masculine and your feminine energies. So that way, again, part of this empowerment is not having aspects of either of your spiritual bodies fractioned off, right? But this is also for those of you that love has been an issue for you, and it looks like it has been for a lot of you, right? Fish are supposed to swim in schools. You've been a little bit of an autodidact fish. This is a counterpart energy. This is someone who matches you on a vibrational level. Someone that can also, male or female, harness the Emperor energy. But what is the Emperor in the tarot? It's Aries. Aries season. Exactly what I said at the beginning of your read. March is your birthday month. Be blessed with rest this birthday month for yourself. Recharge your batteries. Refine your approach. Love yourself. Fall back and lean in to God. And as you do that, you naturally elevate through your alignment onto the frequency of your new timeline. You don't need to climb up to it. It will just come and meet you on a frequency level. And perhaps there is a perfect pair, a perfect vibrational match, the real deal, divine masculine energy on the other side of it for you. But irregardless, this is you coming into union with yourself, all of your energy, soul retrieval, and really upgrading into the Emperor energy by April. Next month is going to be a very big month for you. A very, very big month for you. So take the time to rest. They're bringing me back. They're like, don't you forget about that Ace of Cups. I'm sorry. It is the Ace of Cups. It is the Ace of Cups, Pisces. It's like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to forget. And look, with the moon in reverse underneath that, it will all become clear. Page of Swords in reverse. Because it is not clear to you right now. But you have the Knight of Cups behind that. It will become clear. Hangman in reverse. Perspectives. So take this month. April's going to be real big for you. It's going to be a big glow up, a big upgrade, big breakthrough. So take this month and be blessed with rest. So that way, as we move further through this year, you will be able to move from glory to glory with ease. Yes? Very good, Pisces. So, this was your birthday reading for the month of March. For the month of March. You got me tongue-tied now. Maybe that's how you're going to be. You're going to be tongue-tied. I love you guys very much. I really hope that this was helpful for you because I understand that this is really heavy energy. And trying to stay on the higher frequency of really heavy energy can be quite challenging. And I see this, and I recognize and I honor and validate this energy that you're working through. So I very much hope that this was encouraging to you. I really do. I filmed a second monthly reading for you because I wanted it to be more encouraging. I really wanted to help kind of level out that energy for you and help you navigate it a little bit better. So I truly pray that I was able to do that for you. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know how you were experiencing this energy. If you need any support, I'm always here for you guys. Let me know when your birthday is. I want to know when my little Pisces is. I want to know when your birthday is. So were you a late February, Pisces? Are you what, early, mid, late March, Pisces? My birthday is March 6th. I'm a March 6th Pisces, 36. So let me know when your birthday is. Let me know how you're navigating these energies. I love you very, very much. And as always, what do we say? Stay prayed up, stay blessed, stay sweet, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.